These are all my ant colonies, and in this video I'm going to be showcasing every colony that I own. Also, one of the colonies has never been shown on my channel, so stay tuned to see it. This video not only showcases how good my colonies are going, but even the bad news. The first colony I'm going to update you on is the Tetramorium, as the last video I made was about them. So let's dive straight into it. This is the setup I'm keeping them in. As you can see, I have attached a new test tube to the setup as they outgrew the old one. They have doubled since the last time you saw them, and their brood pile increased rapidly. This colony is the most active colony that I own. They are always foraging and looking for food. Not only that, but they won't stop caring for the brood. No wonder their brood pile is so massive. This is the ant colony's outworld. I designed it to be as naturalistic as possible for the ants to feel at home. These ants are always hungry, and since it's soon winter, they are preparing for hibernation, storing as much food as possible. Right now, this colony is my largest colony I own, and I completely love watching them do their daily tasks. So those were the Tetramorium. Now it's time to move on to another colony. You might recognize them from the first 30-day video I made. I'm keeping them in a test tube attached to an aesthetic ants mini outworld. I'm not quite sure what species they are, but they are a really nice colony. They usually forage a lot, but now hibernation is affecting them, so it's soon time to say goodbye to this colony until March. Unfortunately, this colony had way more workers, but most of them died from old age. It doesn't stop there, as they don't have a lot of brood. It just consists of 4 small larvae waiting to become adult workers. Now it's time to move on to another colony, but this is where the bad news starts. This is my Campeonotus phalanx colony. When I caught this queen, she was perfect. Although she didn't drop her wings, she still hatched her first worker. Therefore, I knew she mated in her nuptial flight. After a week of that worker being alive, she unfortunately passed due to an unknown reason. Although she passed, the queen had 5 good-looking pupae waiting to be unwrapped. But the queen never hatched them and they became black. So I took matters into my own hands and hatched them myself. They were moving, but after a couple of days, they had all died. And this is what remained from this colony. Now let's move on to my Phytoli pallidula experiment, where I had put multiple queens together to form a mega colony. Unfortunately, this colony got traded from a wild colony while I was working on a video about them. When I peeked to see how they were doing, what I could see was ants fighting each other, which panicked me. The wild colony left nothing but dead ants unable to protect their queens. This made me sad, as I was witnessing a colony grow to an extreme population of ants, but failed due to a wild colony. But that's not all the bad news. Now we're going to move on to a colony that isn't going to make it to hibernation. It is one of my Phenogaster colonies. These ants were just doing fine, but one day they just started dying slowly. 1 worker per day, slowly passing due to a sickness. I tried separating the queen, maybe she would survive, but unfortunately she is now dying a cruel death. It's a shame we lost this colony, as it was one of my favorites, and you guys seem to like watching them grow. Now let's talk about some better news. This is my second Phenogaster colony, which they seem to be doing fine, but slowly they are dying the same cruel death as the first colony. They lasted way longer, and at the time I recorded this, they were doing just fine. Although I was hoping for them to survive, unfortunately they didn't make it. Now that I look back, they were one of my healthiest and most fun colony to watch. I'm really sad that this year we have to say goodbye to this ant species, but not all hope is lost, as next year I will be collecting the species and hopefully having better luck at keeping them alive. Let's move on to a really majestic colony I own. This is my Phytoli pallidula colony, and this colony has a lot of workers. I really enjoy giving them food, as they tend to swarm the food, which is really interesting to watch. Fortunately, this colony made it to hibernation, but slowly they were losing ants. I knew they wouldn't make it, and I was really bummed out, as they were one of my favorite ant colonies. A few days ago, I peeked to see if they were doing well, and I just see a lifeless queen ant. This shows how hard the founding colony is to survive in the wild. Those are all my ant colonies, but you may be wondering, where is my Lasius alienus colony? Unfortunately, they also didn't make it, as their queen died while I was on holiday, so I put their test tube outside next to some plants so the workers could experience how it is like in the wild. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, as it would help me a ton, and I just wanted to say sorry for the inconsistency of my uploads. See you in the next video.